guys, good morning. I'm on my way to Kentish Town as I decided to make this video about the various residences of Karl Marx and Friedrich Engels in London. This is mainly for our political philosophy reading group that we run weekly, and I'll post the details about that in the description of the video for those of you who are not in the loop yet, so stay tuned for that. We're on the way to Kentish Town, and in a second I'll tell you more about why it is important for our story. Marx moved to London in the summer of 1849. For several years, he would spend with his family living in two different places in Soho, more specifically on the Dean Street. They first rented a couple rooms, and then they eventually moved to a place at 28 Dean Street where they would pay an annual rent of £22. Their apartment was described by a Prussian spy at the time as being in one of the worst and hence the cheapest quarters of London. Everything is broken, tattered, and torn, finger-thick dust everywhere. So, at some point, when his wife Jenny received an inheritance, they were able to finally move to a different area up north, the area called Kentish Town. We're now on the main street where the Kentish Town station is located. Marx lived off the main street in an area which is actually somewhat in between Kentish Town and Belsize Park. He stayed at two different residences. One is closer to Kentish Town, the other is closer to Belsize Park, and we will see them in order. We're on the way to Marx's first residential address. It is Saturday, and as you can see, there is some kind of a market going on here. There's some of the old buildings that would have been here at the time. At the same time, around this area, there's a lot of new additions. Some social housing has been built around here that obviously wasn't here in Marx's days. But we are very lucky that Marx's house, the first one that he lived in this area, is still preserved. So I'm now at 9 Crafton Terrace, and this is the entrance to the residence that you see next to me. There's no blue plaque, as you can see, but this is the place where Karl Marx used to live for about 19 years, ever since he moved here from Soho, and then later on he moved to a different place just down the road where we'll be in a second. This is just another shot of the house. As I mentioned, we're just very lucky that this house has been preserved. I don't know why there is no blue plaque on this one. Maybe that's something to do with the current owners or tenants of the house, but we'll see another blue plaque in a couple of seconds. I told you that Marx's second residence is in the same street. It actually is not. So his first house is at 9 Grafton Terrace, whereas the second is at 41 Maitland Park Road. It's just a 5-minute walk from here, so the move shouldn't have taken too long. Unfortunately, we won't be able to see the actual house where Marx lived. Apparently it has been demolished. Now at the side of this house there is a big social housing complex, but you can see there is a plaque commemorating the site where the house used to stand. Many would actually find it quite symbolic that there is now social housing at the site where Marx's house used to stand. Well, we will now move to a more upscale and posh area where Marx's friend and co-author Friedrich Engels used to live. He moved to London in 1870 and stayed here until his death in 1883. His first home was between the years of 1870 and 1894 was at 122 Regent's Park Road, which you can guess by the name is not far from Regent's Park and from Primrose Hill. It's a very upscale and expensive area up until this day. It's this kind of street, as you can see, where you can buy the overpriced coffee and other stuff. So Engels lived at this house for about 24 years, and in October 1894, he moved just down the street to 41 Regent's Park Road, where he died the following year. This is a very beautiful house to die in even today, as you can see. And this is our last stop. I hope you enjoyed this little video, and if you want to learn more about Karl Marx and about his writings, I think you should check out our political philosophy reading group. There's more information about it in the description to the video. Thanks very much, and stay tuned.